Hello everyone, when working with text data in Excel, sometimes we don't need to retrieve the entire content exactly, but only a part of it. In this case, Excel supports special characters called wildcards to search or match data more efficiently. There are two wildcards you need to remember, the asterisk and the question mark. The first one is the asterisk. The asterisk represents any sequence of characters. It can be long, short, or even empty. For example, in a subscriber list, if we need to identify subscribers of type B, we can use the expression countif A2 to A10 B asterisk, or to identify subscribers of type B whose subscription codes have 4 characters, we can use the expression countif A2 to A10 B. In practical data analysis, especially in the fields of economics and management, we often encounter situations where we need to find specific information in a large table. For example, finding a product's price based on its code, looking up a student's name using their ID, or retrieving the revenue of a specific province from a long list. To accomplish this, Excel provides a powerful group of functions called lookup and reference functions. These functions help us quickly and accurately retrieve information instead of searching manually. In this section, we will start with the most familiar functions such as VLOOKUP and HLOOKUP, followed by match and index. VLOOKUP stands for vertical lookup, which means looking up data vertically in a table. It searches for a value in the first column of a table and returns data from another column to the right. Lookup value, the value to search for, e.g., product code, student ID. Table array, the data range that contains the lookup table. Call index number, the column number in the table from which to return the value. Column 1 is the first column. Range lookup, the type of search, false or 0 for an exact match, true or 1 for an approximate match, rarely used, as it may return incorrect results. Example, in a data table, to find the room rate for the first person, use the formula VLOOKUP G3 B13 to E15 4 0. Here, the first person's room type in G3 is SUP. The function searches for SUP in the table, range B13 to E15, and returns the value from the fourth column. The result is 500,000. Note, when copying the formula for other guests below, make sure to lock the lookup range, table array. HLOOKUP stands for horizontal lookup, which means looking up data horizontally in a table. It searches for a value in the first row of a table and then returns a value from another row below it. Lookup value, the value to search for, e.g., room type code, product code. Table array, the data range that contains the lookup table. Row index number, the row number in the table from which to return the value. Row 1 is the first row. Range lookup, the type of search, false or 0 for an exact match, true or 1 for an approximate match, rarely used, as it can lead to errors. Example, in a data table, to find the room rate for the first person, use the formula HLOOKUP G3 C12 to E15 3 0. Here, the first person's room type in G3 is STD. The function searches for STD in the range C12 to E15 and returns the value from the third row. The result is 780,000. Note, when copying the formula for other guests below, make sure to lock the lookup range, table array. The match function does not return a value itself, but rather the position, index number of a value within a range, either a row or a column. Lookup value, the value to search for. Lookup array, the range that contains the data to search in. Match type, the type of matching to perform. 0, exact match, most commonly used. 1, finds the largest value less than or equal to the lookup value. The list must be sorted in ascending order. -1, finds the smallest value greater than or equal to the lookup value. The list must be sorted in descending order. Example, match B, B1 to E1, 0. This searches for the value B in the range B1 to E1, using an exact match. The result is 2, because B appears in the second position of the range. The index function allows us to retrieve the actual value from a cell located at a specific position within a range. If the match function gives us the position, index number, then index gives us the actual value at that position. Parameters: array, the data range; row number, the row number of the value to return; column number, the column number of the value to return. Example: given a price table, to determine the room rate for the first customer, we can use the index function combined with match to make the formula dynamic and reusable for other customers. Index, C13 to E17, match, H3, B13 to B17, 0, match, left, D3, 3, C12 to E12, 0. Explanation: the first match function returns 2, the row position. The second match returns 3, the column position. The index function then returns the value at the intersection of row 2 and column 3 in the range C13 to E17, which is 710,000. An array formula is a formula that can process multiple values at the same time, instead of just a single value. The returned result can be a single value or multiple values. Previously, when entering an array formula, you had to press Ctrl plus Shift plus Enter, CSE. So they were also called CSE formulas. From Excel 365 onward, Excel supports dynamic arrays, so pressing CSE is no longer necessary. Example: calculating the total amount, you can use SUM B2 to B7 asterisk C2 to C7. Using if in an array formula allows checking a condition across an entire range and returning corresponding results. Using an or in an array formula can be replaced by the multiplication, asterisk, and addition, plus, operators, respectively. Example: for this dataset, determine the guests arriving in August. Use an array formula like count, if, month, D2 to D8, equals 8, 1, meaning, if the values in the range D2 to D8 have the month equal to 8, return 1 for the count function. Result: 2, or, to determine guests arriving in August 2021, use an array formula like sum, if, month, D2 to D8, equals 8, asterisk, year, D2 to D8, equals 2021, 1, meaning, if the values in D2 to D8 have the month equal to 8 and the year equal to 2021, return 1 for the sum function. Result: 1. Database functions in Excel are designed to work with list-style data. Database. Basic structure: the first row equals column headers, fields. The rows below equals records. These functions allow calculations: sum, average, count, max, min, based on filter conditions, similar to having a small database directly in Excel. Parameters of a database function: D function. The database function name, e.g., dsum, daverage, count, dmax, dmin. Database. The data range including column headers. Field. The column name or column number to perform the calculation on. Criteria. The criteria range must include column headers and the condition directly below. Values in the same row represent and conditions. Values in different rows represent or conditions. Example: dsum, A2 to L8, L2, A11 to B13, calculates the total amount, column L2, for inpatients or those who used CT services.